Hey, PDX Fast Foodie here, and a week or so ago I asked for your questions, mostly about my weight loss journey, and that you guys came through, asked a lot of great questions, which I'll get to in a moment, but I said that I would make a video once I hit a milestone, and that's where we're at today. So let's go a quick timeline. Beginning of 2016, the highest I remember seeing on the scale was 288 pounds. This is the fattest picture I've found. I think the camera must have been broken because I don't ever remember being that big. But that was the beginning of 2018. I was turning 40 in June of that year. And I thought, you know what would be great? If I could lose 40 pounds for my 40th birthday and get down to around 240. That would be amazing. I'd feel better. Everything was great. Well, that came and passed. Did not happen. January 1st of 2018, I was at 270 pounds and I was thinking, okay, it's time to start making some better decisions here. Well, that kind of happened. I lost some weight, but end of August of last year, I was at 259.6 pounds. And that's when I decided that I was going to take a month and go serious. I was going full bore. I was going to make good decisions. I was going to give this a shot. Well, in that first month, I lost 21 pounds. 21 pounds down to like 237, 238, which was just amazing. And then just yesterday, April 6th, 2019, I stepped on my scale and I was at 199 pounds, zero point 0.1 pounds, but 199 pounds, under 200 pounds. It's been at least 20 years, probably exactly 20 years since the end of my swim season, senior year of college, when I was under 200 pounds. So I'm so excited about what I've been able to do over really the last 7 months. And now I just want to kind of go over some of the questions about what I did, what I've been eating, all that good stuff. So let's get right to it. There's a couple people that asked questions. Brian, my buddy Brian, he asked a lot of great questions. So most of them are going to be from him. But the first one that I'm going to answer is from Christina. And she asked simply, keto or Optavia? Now, I hadn't heard of Optavia. I looked it up, and it looks like it's some sort of plan that you buy into, and they've got a system with food that you buy and all that good stuff. Didn't look into it too far. And then keto, most people have heard of keto, and what I actually did was neither of these. It is related to ketosis, what keto is also based off of, where your body... Quick disclaimer, I am going to be horrible on science. I've done a lot of research. I've heard a lot of stuff. But as far as the specific science goes, might get a little shady. But if you have more questions, ask me and I can point you in the right direction. But the state of being in ketosis, where your body is actually using the fat within your body for energy and relying on fats to fuel your body and make it through the day. And one of Brian's questions related to that was, do you have a book or website that you followed? Well, the timeline falls right in line with the beginning of 2018. I listened to the Adam Carolla podcast every day, and this guy started coming on, Vinny Tortorich. Now, he's kind of a brash guy, really loud and boisterous, but he started coming on there about once a week or so and talking about his no sugar, no grains and diet is what he calls, because that's what people call things when you change what you eat, because that is your diet. He started talking, and this guy, he was the go-to guy in Hollywood when a actress needed to lose a bunch of weight, get in shape for a movie, a part, whatever it was. They came to him because he knew how to make it work. And he's been a trainer for a long time. He's an ultra athlete. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to listen to this guy. And he kept talking about this no sugar, no grains, and just how harmful all the carbs we eat are. And as you know, PDX Fast Foodie, I ate a lot of carbs. You can go back and look at those earlier videos. That first one where I met Carl's Jr. eating the big old burger and those buns and everything. And so that was the beginning of 2018. I started cutting out some of the carbs in my life. But there was two things I was not cutting out, especially bread and beer. I was drinking a lot of beer. But everything he was saying makes sense. He has a book, he has a podcast, he does 5 podcasts a week where he brings on different scientists, different people in the health industry, all these different people to talk through why this makes sense, where the science breaks down on what we've learned over time. And so you can actually search just no sugar, no grains, and his website will come up, Vinny Tortorich, once again, and I'll put a link in. He has I believe it's like a 26-page PDF. It's completely free, and what he does is just goes through and breaks down everything about, no sugar, no grains. Now, it seems pretty self-explanatory, but a lot of people still have questions, and keto's a little bit different. He goes through and lists all the things that people or companies are allowed to put on their ingredients as, they don't have to list it under that sugars line item, but they still show up in the ingredients and they are sugars. He also believes that artificial sweeteners, your body, your liver, when it's processing all this stuff and deciding how it should, where it should get its fuel from, that artificial sugars, the body treats it the same as real sugars. And starches, so carbs, he should have named it no starches, no carbs, no sugars, no sweeteners, but that gets a little bit long. So NSNG is the no sugar, no grains. And so over that first, really about 9 months, and it was even a little bit longer than that, I had started cutting out some of this stuff, like especially breakfasts. I had stopped drinking Diet Coke. I drank a ton of Diet Coke for a long, long time, probably over a decade. Cut that out, just went to LaCroix and unsweetened iced tea and coffee. And so that's what I did. It's different than keto. There's some differences there. And I'm not familiar with this Optavia, but from what I saw, it's different. He does this completely free. He has his book, he has vitamins, he has stuff he sells, but this PDF, and that's one of the things I liked. I didn't really have to buy in, commit to anything, sign a 6-month vitamin pack, any of that stuff. I could just take it for a month and go for it. And the next question, what inspired you to take this diet journey? Well, my weight was too high. I was just slow. My brain was always foggy. And there was actually my cousin's wedding. I went to it and they had a pasta bar, and there was so much pasta at this pasta bar. I ate pounds of pasta that night when I knew I shouldn't have. They had an open alcohol bar, so I drank a lot of beer that night, and I knew I was just drinking a lot of beer. I'm probably averaging 1 or 2 a day, whereas now maybe 1 or 2 a week. But after that night, I was not feeling great the next day, to be honest with you, and I had been thinking about, hey, you know what? I should just take 1 month and really do NSNG for reals, not this, 1 meal a day or a little bit here and there. And so I talked with my wife about it, said, you know what, I'm going for this. I am going to do 1 month. I'm not going to drink any alcohol just because, especially the beer and the wine, which have a lot of sugar and carbs. And I am going to try to keep my total carbs under 20 grams a day. So that's carbs, sugar, everything under 20 grams a day. I knew a lot of the ways to do that from listening to him, the people on his podcast, reading stuff online, reading his PDF. I knew the ways to do it. I just had not done it. And I finally got to the point where I said, you know what? 1 month, I can do 1 month. There's nothing coming up this month that should get in the way. I can do this. My wife supported me in it. And so I went for it. So that was the end of August of last year, 2018. And like I said before, that first month, I lost 21 pounds. So that's why I'm still doing it 7 months later. And we'll get back to that a little bit. Another question, did you talk with a medical professional before starting? That is always a great idea if you're going to be making some major life changes in your diet. I had seen my doctor a couple times just talking about my energy levels and my focus. And I had mentioned some of this, the no sugar, no grains. She was somewhat familiar with it and she was actually supportive of it. A lot of doctors are not. And Vinny always says that time to get a new doctor, but she was supportive. I didn't really ask a lot of her because, again, I had done so much learning beforehand that I already knew what to do. So I went ahead and I started and did that month. And Brian asked about, do I have any other health measurements besides just the weight loss? I mean, obviously weight loss is great. I will say I had my cholesterol tested at the beginning of 2018, and at the end of that September, the 1 month I did, my total cholesterol went from 229, which was high. They wanted me to lower that, down to 145, and my bad cholesterol went from 152 to 87. Now, again, there's some science about cholesterol, how it's tested, a lot of this stuff where it might not be as important as we've been taught. Like a lot of things aren't as important as we taught that I've learned through this diet and the stuff that I believe based on no sugar, no grains, and a lot of the other people that I've been connected to on social media and so forth through this. But the other health measurement I had is feelings, because, hey, we love feelings, right? That's what everything's about. And my energy level just got so much higher. Obviously, shedding 60 pounds over 7 months, my body feels a lot better. I was having some knee problems. That went away. I went from a size, I was tight there when I was at my highest. I was in a tight 40 or 42 inch waist. I just went to Old Navy today because they had half off shorts, and I got some 32-inch waist shorts. They're a little bit tight, but I know they're going to work, and that's amazing. But just my feelings overall, I just feel in such a better place being on this diet. I feel so much more confident in what I'm eating, and I was always the guy that was like, oh, corn syrup, who cares? Cornstarch, all these, chemicals and everything. It's like, yeah, something's going to kill me anyways. But the more I learned about the science, I realized, sugar. We take in so much sugar. We take in so many carbs. Most people start the morning. What do? They have a big bowl of cereal, probably put some sugar on top with milk, which skim milk, because that's what we've been taught, with a bunch of sugar on it. And what's the last thing you do before bed? You have a bunch of cookies for dessert. And we all know deep down inside that that's not where we should be. But we go with it because it's easy, it's convenient. But I really, there's just so much, and I haven't seen my doctor, I think, since the end of that first month, just because I felt great and I haven't really needed to go see her. Another question, the one I get all the time, oh yeah, you must be exercising a lot. What are you doing for exercise? In 7 months, there's probably been, I should have counted it up on my Apple Watch, but there's probably been maybe a dozen times where I've filled the exercise circle, and that has only been walking. I haven't done really anything more than that. I've thought about, obviously with having more energy, I move a lot more. I'm able to play with Isla, my 2.5-year-old, so much more, and just be so much more active and not feel just sluggish all the time. But overall, I did not do any exercise. I would like to do more of it. One of the things that Vinny talks about a lot is the just zone 2 exercise. So he said where he says you should be when you're exercising is if you're on a walk, that you're moving enough that you can feel your heart rate going up. You might break a little bit of sweat, but that you could still hold a conversation with somebody. It's not the high intensity stuff for optimal weight loss, but he also talks about the fact that calorie in, calorie out is a very hard way to lose weight, especially because after you exercise, for one, you think, well, you know what? I just exercised. I need to treat myself. Or, my body needs to eat more because I'm exercising. So he really believes that changing your diet to a high fat, that's another key that I haven't mentioned yet, high fat, low carb diet. So this is good fats, meat fats, nut fats, avocados, eggs. He sings the praises of eggs. Every other week there's a new study that says eggs are great, eggs are bad, eggs are great, eggs are bad. He actually himself, an ultra athlete, he does these, mountain climbs, all this stuff. He'll do like 2 eggs, but he'll do 4 yolks. How many times were we told, oh, no yolks, egg whites, that's so much better for you? Everything we've learned is wrong, and I'll get back to some more of that. Another question, did you use any type of weight loss products, supplements, anything like that? The only thing that I've really done consistently is just take a good multivitamin, which everybody probably should be doing. There's better ones, and some that are not so good that just your body can't process the vitamins. I have also been every once in a while take some magnesium that's just supposed to help you with your sleep and is good for you. A lot of people don't get enough magnesium. I did try, somebody was telling me about, I think they were on Shark Tank, these keto pills that have this magic powder that's supposed to give you all this energy. I tried it. I did not really notice a difference, but with a lot of pills, a lot of things, I don't really notice a difference. But yeah, so just kind of a summary: no sugar, no grains, a lot of high fat, low carbs. I probably average, I would say, still around 20 total grams of carbohydrates. And I'll get in. There's a couple questions about what I'm eating, so we'll get into that. So now the fun part, the food. Questions about the food. Sarah asked, "Do you miss bread as much as you thought you might?" People always tell me I could not give up bread. I couldn't give up pasta. And I ate more carbs than anybody. Spaghetti Factory, I've said it before. I'd get the family size Mazithra and brown butter pasta. I would eat 3 loaves of the bread. I just ate a lot of bread. I ate a lot of popcorn. I was in a lot of beer. I was intaking a lot of carbs. But Sarah, I will tell you this: I do not miss bread at all. Burgers are so much better without the bun. You can get most places, I mean McDonald's, Wendy's, all the fast food places, they will do lettuce wraps for you. Or you can just get it at home. We'll just fry up a burger and put it on a plate with some cheese on top, whatever, bacon, and it's really good. So I do not miss bread. I have found that one of the toughest things, like tortillas, bread, buns, a lot of it, even pasta, is just a convenience method. It is a form of silverware where you have bread around your meat and your cheese to make it easier to eat. So I've swapped it out with a fork a lot of times, or some lettuce to wrap it up, and that works really well. What was your favorite thing to eat on this weight loss journey? Well, I'd probably have to say bacon. There's actually a Facebook group I'm in called the Bacon Experiment, where these people, they go full-time bacon, and that is all they eat for, a period of time, some longer than that. And they see amazing results. And you're going, oh, my heart, my cholesterol. Again, go back to my results. High fat is not what causes those problems. It's sugar and carbs. I know, mind blown. Everything is the opposite of everything we've ever been taught. So it's so hard for me to communicate that because we are so ingrained in that. Another question: if you could start again, what would you do different, and what would you definitely do the same? I think, so that first month I was super hardcore. After that, I went back, like, I'll probably have pizza every couple weeks or whatever, some of that stuff. But what would I do different? I would definitely, I would go less almonds. I would just snack on almonds a lot. And I realized that they're actually pretty high carb and they're pretty low fat. Macadamia nuts are probably actually the best nuts for you to eat. Cashews, pecans are higher fat. But I just always have been taught raw almonds are the best thing. You should be eating them all the time. Not that great for you. What would I do the same? Just about everything. I've been really happy. I love what I eat. I'm not struggling. I'm not hungry. It's been easy. Next question. What was the bulk of your diet that replaced the carbs? I would say a lot of it to replace carbs. In my coffee, I do heavy whipping cream, just a dollop of it, just to give it a little bit of texture to my cold brew coffee that I make. And it's delicious. The cheese wisps that I have a video on, where they're 100% Parmesan cheese. You can get them at Costco. I really enjoy those. Those take care of a lot of the crunch that it's hard to find without tortilla chips, without a lot of the things that we normally do. And then just a lot of high fat meat, not lean chicken, not plain rice, high fat meat, and then try to eat vegetables once a day. How do you deal with eating when you're at an event or get-togethers, especially food that you really enjoyed before? That first month was a little bit tough. I would just try to find the meat and cheese plate and eat off of that and some veggies. Now I just make informed decisions on when I'm going to have something good. And I've been to a couple pizza buffets, which are really tough. And but I'll have a couple pieces of pizza and know that I'm going to get right back on it because I've seen results. And so I don't have to think, well, what if I just, if I do get back on it, am I going to see results? After 7 months, I keep dropping weight and keep feeling better. So I keep going with it. So you can usually find something at most events and get-togethers. There's usually some meat, usually some cheese, or even some nuts, or eat before or eat after. And I'll have a beer if I go to a Blazer game, or if I'm somewhere where there's some really good beer. And again, it's just making those informed decisions of when I want to have something special. And which follow-up question, did you allow cheat meals regularly, or were you strict the entire time? I would say I do some cheat meals, like the pizza buffet, where I'll have a couple pieces of pizza. I actually went to one and I would take the toppings off a bunch of pieces and put it on one, and then just not eat the crust. So I'm minimizing my carbs. But I don't do them regularly. I say, okay, this is a special event. I'm going to have something special here because I want to. What do you do when life got in the way? We all get busy. We all got, we're rushed, we're this and that. Well, I have some go-to snacks, and I just try to always have stuff around the house. And sometimes I'll be on the go. I didn't eat any lunch. I'm feeling a little hungry. I'll go to 7-Eleven and I'll get try to find the lowest sugar beef jerky and just have some of that with an unsweetened iced tea or something. You don't need a lot. Or I'll go to McDonald's. I'm PDX Fast Foodie after all. I will go to McDonald's. I'll get a burger without the bun. Now that meat's not the best for me, but again, I'm eliminating the fries. I'm eliminating the carbs, and that makes it. It makes it doable when you're busy. Having some stuff and knowing where to go when you just need something quick to eat. Next question, did your family join you in the diet? If yes, what were the results? If no, how did that affect your consistency? Well, my wife does not need to lose any weight. That is definitely the truth. By the nature of it, she cooks dinner most of the time, so she'll have meat and vegetables with me. She's cut back a lot on carbs, but she still eats a lot. And my 2.5-year-old, I believe she has doubled down on the carbs and the sugar since I stopped eating them, because she does like bacon, but it's hard to get her to eat a lot of other things. So that's something that will be an ongoing battle. Did I meal prep? Kind of goes with that. We didn't do any meal prepping. We just bought a lot of meat, and I don't really meal prep ahead of time, but just having even some leftover stuff or some lunch meats or some good cheeses in the fridge that are ready to go really quickly, or keeping a couple burger patties in the freezer, something where you can quickly do that. I know it'd get tougher with a larger family, more kids. I know Brian has 3 girls, so that definitely brings a whole new thing. But with my schedule, it's been pretty flexible. Kayla asked, what are your go-to desserts? Now, this one's going to kill you. Maybe a small handful of pecans. It's like Obama, that he would have 8 almonds every night when he was before he'd go to bed. I hardly ever eat desserts. I was at my parents' house last night. We were celebrating a birthday. My mom made some amazing multi-layer brownie cream peanut butter cup with the Reese's Pieces. And I made an informed decision. I said, you know what, I'm going to have a couple bites of this. So I did. But I rarely, we go over to my parents every week to watch Survivor. I used to eat handfuls of peanut M&Ms. Kayla, you remember this. I would just grab handfuls and eat them. Now I'll maybe have one peanut M&M if my daughter wants to feed it to me. But other than that, I really do a good job of avoiding it. This kind of ties into earlier with the just scheduling and when life got in the way. Did your hunger increase or decrease on your diet? My hunger completely decreased. When you're eating the high fat, your body just feels satiated. You're not eating a bag of chips and having to eat again 5 minutes later or whatever it is. You're not eating a lot of sugar that your body's just burning and doesn't really know what to do with and turn it into fat. My body is so much more efficient. I could get into the number 2 and how that's become more efficient, but I won't today. If you have those questions, please let me know. But it really decreased. So right now, I usually eat, in the morning, I have cold brew with a little bit of heavy whipping cream. I might eat some lunch, usually a couple nuts, maybe some cheese, maybe a little bit of meat, super small meal. And then for dinner, we'll usually have a pretty good portion of some sort of pork, steak, burgers, high-fat meat, and then usually a vegetable, a salad, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, something like that. So that's about what I eat for a day. And I really wish I do get in the habit of, I'll walk by in the kitchen and grab a couple pecans or cashews or something, or macadamia nuts, which I should cut out. Which gets to the next question. What was hardest? The hardest was twofold. The first was breaking the habit of having to eat all the time. I ate all the time. It's what I did. I drank beer all the time. Wherever restaurant I went to, hey, they've got beer, I'm going to have a beer. Hey, I got home from work, I'm going to have a beer. Hey, I'm going to have a beer. That was one of the hardest things, was breaking the habit of eating all the time and really learning to listen to my body and go, hey, you know what? I don't even need to eat right now, or I don't need to grab that because I know it's not going to be good for me. I will feel like I felt a little sluggish this morning after having that dessert last night, but overall, my body bounces back this long after being adapted to the fats that I can really, I feel I can handle a little bit of carbs here and there. Like my daughter will get French fries and I can eat 1 or 2 French fries. I don't have to go for the extra large French fries. I don't, I can just avoid all of that stuff, again, because I saw real results. What was the easiest? Eating meat probably kind of goes along with the bacon. It's just grabbing and going, and it's a lot easier when you don't have to eat all the time. And what I really like over, I don't want to beg on keto because I know it does good for a lot of people. One of the things about keto is that it seems to be a lot of focus on how you can make things as close to possible as the original food, like keto brownies, keto bread, keto biscuits. I just try to avoid all that stuff. I don't, again, a lot of keto stuff has the artificial sweeteners, which I try to avoid. I try not to take any of those in. Another thing with keto is they usually calculate net carbs. So you take the total carbs minus the fiber, and that's your net carbs, which I don't know how the math works on that. The research I have done says that the fiber is not really offsetting the carbs. Your body still sees those carbs as the same. But if keto is what's going to make it work for you and you see real results and you feel better, all that good stuff, then keto is for you. For me, the no sugar, no grains, he just makes it so simple. Just cut out all that stuff. You're still eating great food. I am eating great meat. There is nothing that I eat where I'm like, oh, I've got to eat that again. Everything I enjoy. Which brings me, do I plan on continuing to eat this way? And yes, I do not see it changing. I'm under 200 pounds now, which is amazing. I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be under 200 pounds again. I do have another milestone that I'm hoping to reach by my birthday in a few months in June. So stay tuned for that. But I do not plan on making a lot of changes. Now, there might be times where I have more beers than I am now, or allow myself, pizza every 2 weeks or something. I've had pizza maybe 4 times in the last 6 months, since after my first hardcore month where I didn't have any cheats at all. But I'm actually working on some recipes, some different ways to make pizza without any carbs. So I'm hoping to, I've found some recipes, I've thought of some different things, because really pepperoni and cheese is all I really need with a little bit of sauce. So I do plan on continuing to eat this way. I do not see it ever changing again in my life. I think it is sustainable. That's something I hear people say all the time, and I just don't know how to answer them. After I've done it for 7 months and lost 60 pounds, is they're like, well, keto's not sustainable. It's something that's out there, apparently. I don't know why that is. I will say real quick, I don't eat a lot of fruits. Most of them are high in sugar. There's some vitamins there, but especially like juice, that's just pure sugar. Look at the labels on your juice. Fruit, your body sees that sugar the same way. Now, eating an orange or eating a handful of Mike and Ike's, I would say go for the orange if you need to have something. But but like berries are pretty good for you. They have less glycemic index. Ooh, science terms. My last thing, do you think this diet is for everyone? I firmly believe now, and I hate the fact that I believe this now, that our society, thanks mostly to Mr. Kellogg, which might sound familiar, is so focused on carbs. There was people in the industry that did a lot of lobbying for the food pyramid. I think it is wrong. I think that cutting out any amount of sugar and carbs. Now remember, for that first year and a half, I lost about 30 pounds just making some better choices. So I think it's up to each person. That's one thing I liked about No Sugar, No Grains. It's not, I didn't have to count anything. There's nothing strict, but it just really, I made it my own, and I am comfortable with the way I've done it. And I think that every person can really look at their diet and look at some ways that they can make some better choices. Now, some people have a lot more weight to lose than others, or different health issues. There's a great movie called The Magic Pill on Netflix, I believe. It's streamed somewhere, that has some really good stuff about it. But I just really, I do think that everybody could move further this way. Vinny does have some resources for those that have chosen to go vegan. I am not going vegan, but some people might do that, and he has some adjustments that you can make for that. But I really do see benefits of this. One of the biggest things, back to, I forgot on part 2 of what's been hardest, was realizing, Vinny always says, your good intentions have been stolen. We have been told the wrong things. The science breaks down on a lot of these studies, and I can give you more resources on that. But it just breaks down so quickly on how the heart-healthy grains, all of this stuff. Oh, low-fat meat, super lean ground beef, lean chicken is the only meat you should eat. And from the stuff that I've researched, I really believe that that stuff's wrong. Our bodies are meant to have a high-fat, low-carb diet. And so, yeah, that kind of wraps that up. So I went way longer than I thought I would. Thank you if you made it this long. Please, I'm going to continue this journey. I am more than welcome to answer your questions. If you want help, if you want accountability, any of that stuff. I've really done a lot of it on my own. I didn't have, part of one of the questions was, what did I have anybody going with me? There's 25,000 people in Vinny's Facebook group. I kind of participate there, not really. I've had some friends kind of doing it, make some better decisions. I've had some people tell me that watching my videos, seeing my stuff, they have tried it out, but I really haven't done, I hadn't had a group, I haven't had accountability on it. My accountability was seeing results and knowing that I wanted to get healthier. So, which is not me at all. Self-control, not me at all. I did a long life of no self-control, especially when it came to eating. And so it's been very life-changing for me. Make sure you're following me. I do YouTube videos, Facebook, Instagram. I post a lot of photos of the kind of stuff I'm eating when I go out to eat, stuff I'm cooking at home. I'm hoping to do more. But please, if you have more questions, please let me know, because I would love to answer them for you, because it's made a real change in my life. And I think people can see that. My wife surely sees that, just my energy level. My daughter sees that, which is pretty awesome. I broke it down. I made it like 40 minutes, 35 minutes without getting emotional about this, but it truly has been life-changing. So that's why I wanted to do this video. I'm under 200 pounds, which is crazy. And I'm excited to see where it goes from here. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you ask me questions. I love questions. I love helping people. I will debate stuff with you. I will point you in the right direction for information, the facts, the science that I am following on this stuff. With that, finally, PDX Fast Foodie out.